Hello, Paul Mordetsky coming to you from my very cold studio in Hightstown, New Jersey. It's cold because, due to my own negligence, I ran out of propane. It's the weekend, and I will have to wait for delivery and stay all bundled up as I do this last video. Before I do one last demo, I'd like to take a moment to summarize what we've done in the preceding videos. First of all, we looked at the geometry of the head. We've tried to see how that correlates to anatomy and how that correlates to the fact that light can hit certain planes and not hit other planes. We then looked at mapping and measuring as a way to ascertain with more accuracy proportions and placements and the general structure of the head as an object in space. The following video was about blocking in the large masses and large shapes of light and dark. And in the last video, we looked at gradations and ways of refining and finishing the head. I think this is a pretty good method. I think it covers lots and lots of bases. But I do want to say that it's not the only way to work. It's just one of many ways to work. And I hope that you will explore it. And I hope that you will get proficient at it. And I hope you will explore all the other possible ways of working as well and find the one that's most resonant for you. These videos have been fun and challenging to make. I've enjoyed them, and I hope that you enjoy them as well. I'm happy to hear from anybody. If you'd like to look me up, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me via my website listed at the end of this video, and you could just Google me. Here's the drawing that I've been working on over the last several videos. I took some time earlier today to darken some areas, soften some edges, add a little bit more towards the back of my head. And I'd have to say at this point I'm pretty happy with the way that it's turned out. I worked on this drawing in a largely additive way, which is that I started on a white piece of paper and I added dark stuff until I was done. Now, somewhere along the line, I had enough dark stuff on there that I could begin to use my eraser to pull lights out. This is called working subtractively or lifting out. The lifting out part was minor in many respects for this drawing, but it doesn't have to be, and working in a more subtractive way can yield some really, really interesting results. And that's what I'd like to show you today. What I'm going to do is take a brush and soften this drawing. This is a makeup brush. I'm going to do this in a bunch of stages because I want to show you possibilities. So if I do that, I have really cut the contrasts. I've softened it. In some ways, it's probably closer to the tonality that a Caucasian head might have. I've lowered those values, and now I can just start to work with my eraser and maybe do that. Now, because I've lowered the contrasts, I can also come back in and push the darks a little bit, and the whole drawing becomes much more resonant. Again, that subtractive work is still largely minor. That was a very soft brush. Let's take something like a tissue and do that. Now, goodbye drawing. What will happen now is I'm sort of back to square one. I don't know how far I want to go with this, but I think I might have erased a little too much for my demo, but not too much for doing this kind of drawing. What I can do now is just pluck at it. I did a little bit too much rubbing, and I went a little bit too far in with the graying, and I made this paper a bit slick, and that's kind of getting in my way at the moment. But the idea is that when you rub it in, you create this middle tone like that, then you're starting off here, and that can create a much more dramatic kind of drawing with more tones that are more solidly in the middle. It's a nice way to start to work. Because it's very open. Often when I'm working, even though I will start working in a kind of additive way, I will develop a little bit of the drawing, and then I will deliberately rub it in with a brush and knock that back, more like I did before I really super attacked it. The idea is that you get that paper pretty dark, pretty gray rather, and easily erased, and then just the slightest touch with your eraser creates a really luminous light that isn't really white. And that means that you can get darker in your darks. This could also end up being a lesson in what not to do. Still working on this. Softening. Coming back with the eraser. It's the same process. You just open this drawing up longer. You keep reducing the contrast. So what I have here is just a deeper, darker drawing. I think I like the other one more, but that doesn't really matter. What it is a process where at any point, for any reason, I can just run through my drawing, knock it back a little bit, and then start working once again with the lights. What happens is I just get the thinnest grays in the light area. And then when I add a little bit of erasing, I get a nice glow. And what I would ultimately want to do with this drawing, or really any drawing that I work on, is I want to get rid of the concrete elements of it. Soften it, make it murkier. Take it down to more of a suggestion than absolute fact. Again, this is stylistic. It's what I want. Doesn't mean everybody else has to do it. Those last few marks, I'm starting to like this more. I think it actually looks a little bit more like me. More that has to happen in here. The nice thing about this is just any touch of the eraser just adds light. A sharp edge, but done as an erased mark. One last pass with that eraser, and I think we're going to call it quits. I'm going to say that's done. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and I hope they've been useful.